It is 2020. 2019 is gone. Kaboom! It's over. Gotta love those sound effects. Beginning of the year, I always like to take time and make a video and talk about the things that happened in 2019, the things that were fun and exciting, the projects that I got to do, some of the photo and the video work, some of the things that challenged me, the things that I was able to improve on, and the things that were that I was really passionate about throughout the year. And I feel like that's really hard to do at the end of the year. Maybe it's not for you, but for me, it's been really hard to do at the end of the year because you've got Christmas and New Year's, you've got family coming in from out of town, you've got friends that want to celebrate and have fun together and talk and spend time, and you've got people that are home from college visiting, and you've got people that are just not around maybe the rest of the year. And so that last 2 weeks of the year, I always have a hard time reflecting, but I do think that it's important and it's something that I value. And so moving into the year, I want to be able to look back and look at 2020 and say, what's coming? What do I have to look forward to? What are the things that I had a lot of fun with? So the year's word, 2019's word, was elevate, and that was something that we chose as a family, that we had picked at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019, and we decided that that's what we were going to focus on. Focus on our life, on our business, on our family. I'll show you what we did, show you some clips, show you some photos that I took throughout the year, and just some of the fun things that we got to work on and that I enjoyed. And so some of them aren't monumental, some of them aren't catastrophic. There was no major issues that happened in 2019, but it was a lot of fun and got to do some really cool things. Check it out. Well, I definitely had a good time, had some exciting things happen, and there were some fun vacations that I got to go on. Looking through my photography portfolio, looking at the things that happened, definitely took some photos that were fun. One of the places that I got to go was to Mount Hood down in Oregon and went on a hike at Zigzag Falls, made a video, and that was really fun with my family. My daughter was 2 years old. My little guy was just over 7 months at the time, and it was a lot of fun. That was in the snow. We get to hike through, and just adorable even to look back on and see what my kids were doing just at that stage of their life and how much they've grown over the last year. One of the trips that we took that I get excited about and that I look forward to every year is going to Florence, Oregon to the sand dunes. We go out dry camping on the sand and no hookups, with no water, no electricity, and just enjoying time, enjoying quiet, getting to ride the quads. It's fun, cooking on the sand and getting some cool shots. I went on two really cool hikes. One is Forgotten Meadows, the other one was Soul Duck Trail. And Forgotten Meadows is if you go out towards Granite Falls in that area and you get off of Mountain Loop Highway and you head up that way. That's a really cool hike, some really cool peaks, awesome footage, awesome views and scenery up there. The other hike, the other trip was Soul Duck Trail, and that was out on the Olympic Peninsula. Went out there with a group of friends, a lot of fun, and definitely a great way to take some photos, to get away, to isolate yourself, put yourself in a setting where all you have to do is take pictures, where really all you can do is take pictures and sit around a campfire and eat. And it's a great way to really, I found, condense down my mind and kind of take my mind off of all the things that are going on, work and next week's tasks and my home to-do list, and be able to just focus on, okay, what are the shots that I want? What do I want to get out of this trip? And what do I want to walk away and have a physical memory of being able to look at a photo? And I love that opportunity. And so I posted a lot of those photos this year, but there's still just this catalog, this unending catalog seemingly of photos that I took over that time while I was gone. And that was so much fun. In 2019, I took 2 trips to Colorado, both to the Denver area. One was in May, and that was a camping / mountain biking trip. We did 3 days of mountain biking. I spent about a week out there and went to Buena Vista, went to Salida, and I just had a ton of fun with two guys that I had met last year at a conference. We went out in a motorhome, we camped, we went mountain biking, had a great time. I rented a Santa Cruz Bronson, which I did not particularly care for. I felt like it was a little too big and bulky, a little sluggish. The second time that I went out was for another video project that I did, and that was again in the Denver area, but I rented a Santa Cruz Blur and got to go mountain biking on that. Loved that bike, had a really good time out with those guys and met some new people throughout the couple of weeks that I was there. I went to the Manitou Incline when I was there in September, and that was one of the other things that I did. And it's like 2,000 steps. I did a whole video on it, but it's 2,000 stairs to the top, and that doesn't include where you have to park at and all of that fun stuff. But that was a good time. That's super exciting. That will get you working hard and wondering if it's worth it to get all the way to the top. And I thought that it was. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the little bit of extra challenge, and I was also in Colorado. So I had to do something, take advantage of the time that I was there. Went to Garden of the Gods, got to drive through some of the garden of those rocks, go and explore some of the rocks, take some cool photos. Had a great time. Took this shot where I was jumping and I was trying to time it off of a rock. I ended up using my remote, and I ended up getting it. Some people watching I probably thought that I was ridiculous, but I did get the shot. I was super excited about it. It's a little out of focus if you zoom in, but for social media, nobody tends to notice. In September, my wife and I took some time to go to Nashville, visit some friends, and go to a conference called Story that happens down there, a big conference for creatives. I went last year in 2018. It's filled with creative people and people that are dreaming and thinking about the future and thinking about what they want to do and really using their gifts and their talents to move art forward and challenge art and kind of what we think about art. And so Brad Montague is always a favorite at Story Conference. He's inspiring, and he really helps you redefine what you think your idea is of art and perfect, because he challenges that normative thinking and just says, hey, why isn't your art good enough? And so I absolutely love that. Got to listen to some incredible speakers and really get inspired about this next year, about 2020, as I was looking and working through some of my notes and my ideas. Also met CJ Cassiata, who wrote Get Weird. While I was in Nashville, I sent him a message about meeting up and just said, hey, can I buy you coffee and meet up with you? Such a cool guy. He spent time with us, spent about an hour and a half with the group that we had there. Really fun. Well, that's 2019. That's what I did. Some of the things that I got to work on, the things that challenged me and pushed me to be better and to work. My photography, I felt like, got a lot better this year. Some of the videos that I got to make were really fun. What was your word for 2019? I'd be curious. Leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear, what was your word in 2019? Do you have a word for 2020? Do you do a word for a year? I think that it's awesome and important. It's something that I value, something that my family has put a high priority on, just because we think that it helps us to kind of focus the entire year and think about what each of our goals is doing for that next year. But next video, I'll be talking about 2020, what the word is for that year, for this year that we're currently in, and I will be working forward to see what we can get out of it. It's a little cliche, I will warn you. It's a little cliche, but not for the reasons that you may think. And so when I reveal that word, I will explain also how we got there. So stay tuned. Thanks for joining me. Subscribe if you haven't already. See you next video.